6 years. That is 72 months of balancing billable hours with university modules. I finished year 6 and I'm staring down the barrel of year 7. And I have some things I need to leak about what this journey actually looks like when the finish line is finally in sight. Welcome to Legally Leeks, where I leak what it's really like to be in the legal industry. Let me tell you, 6 year has been an interesting one. 6 year has been a heavy year. I will say this, it has been a year where it is ripe for testimonies. We'll talk about academics first. In the beginning of this year, I handed in our equivalent, or the degree apprenticeship equivalent of a dissertation, which is the endpoint assessment portfolio. Almost, that ate me up. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I didn't sleep between the day of the deadline and the day before the deadline. I was just typing, I took mini naps. And we thank God, he blessed the work of my hands. I found out that I was graduating with a first class degree. Guys, it's so hot. We are literally in the middle. It feels like the middle of summer. It's only the end of June. All my devices are dead. My charger broke this morning. So I was like, you know what? We just praise God that the laptop has a camera on it. So I wanted to see if this is my degree certificate. Bachelor's of Bachelor's of Law is... Who got a law degree? I did. I continued SQE1 preparation, and then I did SQE1, which I did the exam when there was literally the lowest pass rate. I sat it in July.
Come sit my law qualification exams, SQE1.
It is SQE1 tomorrow! And I know everyone's talking about like the general pass rate. I was particularly focused on the amount of Black people that passed that exam. And now I'm preparing for SQE2, and I, in essence, stopped at SQE2 revision. I handed in my endpoint assessment as well, which means that I'm kind of like signed off working at the standard of a day one solicitor. This is such a surreal moment. I literally just had a meeting with my skills coach and I have been signed off. I have finished my day one portfolio, which is insane. And I just need to do the qualification exam. If we're talking about work, I've been pushed. I have definitely been pushed. I can see an increase in my skill. I think how I entered into last year, my 6th year, and the way I've ended 6th year, two different skill set. I feel a lot more confident in lots of different things, in speaking with clients, in being more proactive or progressing cases, more progressing than managing. You know, just work in a cohesive way. I can 10 toes down say I really put work in this year. The mental toll of working and studying at the same time is very intense in and of itself, okay? But since I finished the degree portion, I felt like it was easier to like kind of balance the two, but it wasn't, because SQE1, it was intense. And I think, let me talk more generally, your responsibility in 6th year, hopefully, if your team trusts you and you produce a good level of work that they want to, you know, kind of give you that. The work has definitely become more intense. Really, they are. I'm still on the same team actually. They are really, sorry, my mirror is here. They are really nice. Obviously, this is the furthest I've ever been in the apprenticeship, which means that the quality, the standard, the expectation of work is so much higher. And that's the same on the study side. Like, it feels like this year has definitely been a time where I have been being put into a pressure cooker. Like, there's so many things to manage. And that's not even me mentioning the stuff that was happening outside of work. I started off 26 with a health scare and also SQE2. Like, I've never done SQE studies without a portfolio except for December. I think definitely towards the end of the year, hands down, December, burnt out. And I didn't even realize it until I had 2 mental breakdowns. You know, I'm just glad that I have a very supportive community. More generally, your title or your label as being an apprentice it has less meaning of, oh, I'm new, like I'm here, or not even that I'm new, but like I'm really here to learn, etc. Of course you are there to learn, but also I kind of feel like I'm at the stage where you're in year 6 now, or now I'm in year 7, but last year you're in year 6. There was definitely a standard or an expectation that was put on me to work or act or whatever at a certain level, which is reasonable because I've been here for a while. I certainly felt anyway that I was becoming less of, it's not that I wasn't there to learn, but it definitely felt and had a different vibe to 3rd or 4th year, even 5th year. Towards the end of 5th year, oh my gosh, that was a lot of responsibility. So yeah, I definitely think that over time there's definitely been an increase, 100%. And I'm grateful for it because I think even whilst I was compiling the portfolio, I was looking back at all of the tasks that I'd done. I was like, I have done a lot of work, a lot of different work. And I also think that I'm bouncing between different work styles quickly. And as much as I had learned things in other years, I think the speed at which I needed to adjust in this team and department has been easier for me compared to other years. I think I want to make this end of year review a bit more practical as well. So here are 3 things that I learned in my 6th year of being an apprentice. Guys, I'm almost at the end. I actually thought after I was signed off I'm no longer an apprentice, but actually I need to do SQE2. In any event, and this is not even just work related, which I learned very quickly. You as a professional need to understand that in some kind of way, and I mean this in the nicest way, you are a resource, and sometimes people, companies, organizations, sometimes even friends and family share, will see you as a resource of, you know, I can't do this thing so I can just delegate or whatever. And I think in some instances, hey, I even think, and I feel like we're losing this as a society, but you should, you know, inconvenience yourself for your friends. You should, like, that's a part of friendship. Do you know what I mean? Like, showing up for people even if it's not convenient for you. Of course, if it's during exam season, we may need to have a conversation about that. People can be takers. It wasn't the nicest realization that I have. I really learned when I needed to say no, because let me say this, I don't want to say that I had a stress related illness, but for example, if we're talking about work, I can't time record if I'm in the hospital. Hold on, how about this? Was a real one for me. I don't even have the strength to pray if I've done a 12-hour day 4 days in a row at work. Not possible. In fact, at that point, my prayers are tears. And I can laugh about it now, but seriously, I think it's just a part of life. It's just a part of living as a person and understanding that you cannot be all things to all people all the time. In essence, what I'm saying is boundaries is important, and they will look different depending on whether you're looking for work-life balance or whether you're looking for whole life excellence. 2 of the things elicit different attitudes towards saying yes and no, and why you say yes and why you say no. I think the why is really important. It definitely speaks to your character. I don't think I really filled my browser in properly, but I'm not going anywhere. I have built up some professional confidence in terms of the work that I'm producing, and I understand that confidence isn't just I'm doing a task well. Confidence is also have something valuable to share, and I want to hear what the team has to think about it. I don't just like always, sometimes there's a time for silence. Like, I do understand that I don't know everything. I'm still learning. I share more intentionally. I think about things more critically at work and outside of work. I am more vocal about what I need to do and how I need to do it, and whether or not I can actually do the thing, and understand my own capacity, and not over promising for the purposes of maintaining my identity, which, to be honest, I'll be extremely honest here. and say that there are times where I may have said yes to a task or several tasks, knowing that I'm already stretched, but I don't mind working too much in order to meet all of these different demands of my time. I think at a point in my lifetime, I definitely thought that overworking was admirable, and I did speak about it in one of my vlogs actually, where I was like, yeah, overworking is, you know, I've put that behind me. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. December has taught me I'm still working on it. But confidence isn't just I walk into a room and la 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 la. It's actually what I have to say is valuable, what I have to say is correct. The work that I produce is better than what it used to be. It's being clear about what my expectations are and whether or not they're realistic and whether or not I can meet them in the time that's given to me based on the fact that I am an apprentice. Because whilst there are obviously other people who are working and studying, the basis of my contract is for me to work and study for a period of however long. So I've become, I think this year, less conscious of the fact that I can't show up in these different ways, because as I've said in another video, nobody else is waking up at 3 a.m. to study or 4 a.m. to study. No one's going to sleep later than hoped for because, you know, they're trying to complete a test, or nobody is going to take that exam for you if you fail because you were overworking or you were over socializing. And linking that back to confidence is, and I guess kind of linking it to boundaries as well, like just understanding who I am and what I have to share is valuable, and not trying to meet the needs of other things in an unsustainable and unhealthy way. What does the end or towards the end of this program really look like? Handed in that endpoint assessment, it was quite dense. I don't think I was expecting it to be as intense as it was, but it is what it is. Certainly managing that alongside SQE2, I'm talking specifically about the endpoint assessment. I don't want to say it was a myth, but I don't think people really saw or heard from me at that time. I am yet to finish the qualification exams, and then I am technically no longer an apprentice. I need to be applying for NQ roles. This year for me, after I finish SQE2, and by the grace of God, I am passing on the first attempt. It's less about figuring out what the law is saying, but from like a development perspective, it's more about figuring out what area of law I want to go in. And people have been asking me that, but I kind of think that I'm at the stage of information overload. I've been thinking about which area of law I want to specialize in, and there are a few different areas that have caught my eye. Just because I am an apprentice doesn't mean that I'm guaranteed a job by the end of it. There are lots of apprentices who, you know, trained at one firm and unfortunately did not secure an NQ role there. So, and yeah, if you've been watching me since the very beginning on the other channel and you've transitioned over, thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for your comments, your support, your DMs, your messages, your emails. I feel encouraged. I think it's very interesting because now I'm talking to a camera versus, you know, when people reach out, it's like, that's really nice to know that I'm actually encouraging somebody or supporting their decision-making process to know whether or not they want to do an apprenticeship. I think my final thoughts are, as they have always been, being an apprentice is not for everyone. 3, 2, 1! The legal industry, it's not for everyone. It's actually very tough to get into, and once you're there, it may even be tough to stay there. I will stand 10 toes down on this. I don't think that the realities of being an apprentice is what is always necessarily put forward on like social platforms. I do think it's really good and lovely to see everybody enjoying their apprenticeships. I think it's really encouraging as well. And I do think, especially with the rise of apprentices, degree apprentices, all apprentices on TikTok, who are being more vulnerable, especially about the challenges of working in law. I want to leave this as a sober reminder. Some people hate their apprenticeships. Some people hate being apprentices. Some people cannot wait to get out of, you know, being an apprentice. And I do think that those are the people you will probably never hear from. You probably won't see a LinkedIn post from somebody talking about how much they hate being an apprentice. You probably will see, which I have seen and I'm really surprised about. I've definitely seen some videos, someone sent it to me actually, of an apprentice like trying to leave a company, and several apprentices had left that company, it appears from that video, and the firm was trying to get them to pay money back, which is not, I'm pretty sure that I've been told that that's not allowed. So, you know, listen, you do have to be kind of ready to be an apprentice. Otherwise, you'll be getting ready whilst you're there. And I do find that sometimes the workplace can be less forgiving than a university environment. So I will stand 10 toes down on this and say that being an apprentice is not for everyone. People who are dragging full-time university students and saying you should have just done an apprenticeship. Like, I mean this in the nicest way. Not everyone can even do an apprenticeship. Not everyone can finish an apprenticeship. Let's not say that being an apprentice is creme de la creme. It's just one of the options that are available to students. There are benefits, but there are also drawbacks. So same with going to university. There are benefits, but there's also drawbacks. There are networks and people that you would meet going to uni full time that you would never meet being an apprentice, and vice versa. So look, if anyone's interested in being an apprentice, do some deep dive research, because it's definitely a tough one, and it does require perseverance. Coming from somebody who is now in her 7th year, who's still studying and working, and will be studying and working for a little bit, at least for the majority of this year. I don't know how I don't even know. I'm honestly just taking one day at a time. Taking one day at a time. But I hope that you do enjoy the legal, or you're interested in the legal industry. I will be posting more videos. I'm currently in exam season. You might catch me in February. If you see any videos in January, you are blessed. But that is all for now. I think that is all for now though, really. I'm wishing you all the best in your careers, in your lives. I'm praying for you all. And I will hopefully see you some more this year in 2026. Happy New Year! I'll see you in the next video.